that, but he was an adversary from the time I walked through the doors in '89, and it had very little to do with me. I don't think it had anything to do with me, quite honestly. I think it had more to do with the antagonistic relationship that he had with Randy Galloway and Dale Hansen. So when I came to town, Hansen and Galloway were strong supporters from the very beginning of me, and so then he had to take on the contrarian view. And so, I just thought that I'm fine if I don't play well and somebody writes that. I just when it goes beyond that and you're just constantly, which is what he's been doing with LeBron James. I mean, give me a break. Yeah. And so I didn't care for him really pretty early on. And then when he went to the station, it was just one of those deals where, I won't do a program right now on FS1. He works for Fox, and he's on FS1, and I've made it clear to my bosses that any show that's on FS1, I just simply won't be on. And they said, well, what do you mean? How can you do that? And I said, well, it's real easy. I'm doing it. And, so when you hired Skip, did you think that I'm now hoping this network, succeeds and has great success? I mean, give me a break. So they fortunately haven't fired me over it, but I don't do shows on FS1.
So your ticket hatred all stemmed from there. You didn't care about
no, and I will say, no, I don't. I think it's all great. I mean, I really do. But then when I would occasionally tune in, and I was one of these because I think that I read it in The Athletic today when I was reading your story that when I would tune in, I'm expecting to be listening to sports. And I'm listening, and it just seemed like every time I tuned in, it was talking about just nonsense, and I'm like, this stuff is awful. I didn't hang in there long enough to really appreciate any of it, and I was just like, these guys are a bunch of idiots, and so it never changed. And then they approached me about doing a show. And I'd been out, Craig, you said 15 years or whatever it was. I knew it was shortly after I'd retired. And when I did retire, I started listening to the show. And I found myself to be, now it's all I listen to. When I get in the car, it's on, And so,
that makes them happy.
It's an easy audience.
So you were one of them, man.
But now I really do enjoy the takes on the games. I mean, I enjoy when you guys are talking about sports and the games, but I find myself more, listening to Gordo's Corner and laughing about some of that stuff and laughing about I've gone full circle, and I really do get it, and I never once think, gosh, why are they not covering sports, or why are they talking about this? I think it's awesome, and I know that other stations around the country have tried to duplicate it, and I was telling Dan Bennett backstage, you can't. I mean, you can't pull it, that, because you guys here are the ones who make it work, and it's really cool. I've told Joe, now with the app, I've told Joe and guys on our crew, I said, you've got to download the app. And I'm telling you, at 8:40, I live for 8:40. At 8:40, it's the greatest stuff ever. And so I think it's awesome. I have told, when Drew Bledsoe came to town, I said, Drew, I really think the best thing you can do is somehow figure out how to have a weekly show on the ticket, because the listening base is so broad, and they really, if you have a relationship with the ticket and you're able to talk about whatever it is, the good times, the tough games, whatever it is, I'm telling you, it'll serve you well in the long haul if you're in our community. And I don't think he took me up on it. That didn't happen. But I would tell Dak the same thing. I think this station has so much reach and impacts so many people that I think that these players, if given an opportunity, I think they should have a show on the ticket.
Boy, thank you for 2 years worth of promos.
Yeah. The great Troy Aikman and Jay Novacek.